2 nights ago, for the 250th time, we saw a Manchester United Academy graduate making their debut for the first team. Who was it? Of course, it was Ethan Wheatley. How old is he exactly? 18 years old. But I would hazard a guess, that might be all you know about him. Because certainly in that performance the other night, we didn't see too much. He was only on the pitch for 9 minutes, he only had 2 touches, he competed in 2 duels, which he lost, and made 2 fouls. So, you guys probably didn't learn too much about Wheatley in that game. Hopefully today I can show you something a little bit different and educate and really tell you guys what he's about, really. So, in terms of position, you guys would have seen the other night, he is a striker. And a tall one at that. I would say he's around 6'2", 6'3". He looked a little bit taller than Marcus Rashford in my opinion. And, you know, that might give you the impression that he's a target man. Someone that you go long to and use him for physical duels. But that would be completely wrong in my opinion. He's not someone where you want to go long from the goalkeeper and ask him to battle against centre-backs. Not really his game. Instead, a player which wants to come a little bit deeper and get the ball into his feet. A bit like Rasmus Højlund. You know, just because he's big, it doesn't mean he's a target man. This guy likes the ball at his feet. In particular, what he likes to do is use bounce passes. Now, what is a bounce pass? That will be, for example, Kobbie Mainoo having the ball here. He's going to fizz a pass into the feet of Wheatley. And Wheatley, either in 1 or 2 touches, is going to bounce the ball backwards to someone in midfield. And then from there, you're going to get runners off the ball like this. And you can play forward from there. This is the sort of way which Wheatley likes to play, in my opinion. This is his game. Not being a big, physical monster up front. Not really his play style. He's a technical player. Now, again, that might come as a surprise, because at 6'3", you don't always get that. But Wheatley is all about close control. You know, technical touches, using both feet to kind of manipulate the ball and manipulate the opposition. But he also has good agility as well. So not only a good first touch, he can actually twist and turn. And again, at 6'3", that's a really useful weapon to have because it's a bit of an anomaly of a profile, if you like. That ability to be tall and strong, but also get low to the ground, twist your hips, turn, and kind of manipulate, once again, the opposition centre-backs. Wheatley does this really well, in my opinion, and I actually like that side of his game. I love strikers which can do that. However, whilst that is how he likes to play the game, you know, coming short, passing, showing off good first touches, sometimes dribbling horizontally, whilst he can do all that, he's not a one-trick pony. He can also, importantly, go the other way as well. And I think this is something which historically is quite important for Manchester United strikers. The ability not just to come towards the ball, but also to spin in behind, to play on the last man, the shoulder of the last defender, and really stretch the opposition. Importantly, Wheatley can do this. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that he is absolutely rapid. You know, he's not as quick as Marcus Rashford, probably not even as quick as Rasmus Højlund, but he's still pretty quick. No slouch by any means. He can certainly move in behind the defence. He can trouble defenders in that way. So that's an important thing for his game. I guess what you guys are probably all thinking is, okay, that's all nice, but how good is he actually in front of goal? Pretty good. Pretty good. If we're basing it off this season, he started the season a little bit slowly from what I have seen. Perhaps was low on confidence, you know, sharpness as well at the time, just poor form at the time. Recently, second half of the season and recent weeks, he's really kicked on. He recently had a hat-trick against Liverpool. He scored a brace against the Manchester City side just the night before his debut for United the other night. He's really come into form in the second half of the season. And suddenly he looks like a composed player. Someone who looks like he's got all the time in the world in front of goal. And at the moment, he's picking the right finish most of the time. Usually with his right foot, but he's picking the right finish. We can see that in his form here. In 26 games in all competitions this season, he's got 11 goals and 4 assists. A goal every 139 minutes. That's a very, very decent return. You can see, particularly in the Under-18 Premier League, he's performing really well. 10 goal contributions in just 7 games. That's impressive. That's really, really impressive and something that you would hope he could bring into the Manchester United first team, perhaps in the future. In terms of in the present, he is, of course, still playing for the youth side. And this is him against Manchester City. Like I said, literally the night before his debut. He played really well.
So before we continue into the video, a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, JerseyFIFA.com, the home of all of the greatest football kits. Whether that be the new latest releases or the old classic ones like this, Jersey FIFA has something for everyone, and now you can check it out yourself using the link in the description down below. And also make sure to use code JerseyFIFA for 10% off when you order.
Now the reason we're looking at this game in particular is one, because it's the most recent game, but also because I feel like it showcased a lot of his different attributes. It showed different side of his games, and I think that's important to look at. So the first clip we've got here, we can see him starting a little bit deeper up front here. And as with this arrow indicates, he's going to curve his run and try and run in behind the Manchester City defence. The deep Manchester United player here is going to play a long ball over the top of the defence. And Wheatley curves his run really well, gets in between 2 centre-backs. You could question the positioning of the centre-backs, but he does really well, gets in behind the defence. And this is what I was talking about earlier. He's not necessarily the quickest in the world, because he's pretty intelligent with his movement, playing on the last line, plus he's decently quick, it allows him to get into these sorts of positions. And again, I think that's important at Manchester United, to be a striker which can do this side of the game. And on this particular occasion, he's got the finish to match as well. He takes one touch, the ball eventually kind of bowls up, and he hits it on the half volley from this angle, over the keeper, kind of at the near post going across the goal. It was an absolutely brilliant finish just 7 minutes into the game. And it showcased a side of his game which I think people might question. Is he quick enough? Yeah, he is. In my opinion, he is quick enough. Again, not an absolute road runner, not Marcus Rashford, but he's quick. He is quick, and that's important. Importantly though, as I've said a few times already, he can do other sides of the game as well. So on this occasion, United are actually going to play long from the back, from the goalkeeper, and go quite direct. But importantly, we're not going direct to his head. We're not asking him to be a target man. Now, I apologise for the quality, I guess, if you like, of the shot here. It's not too great. But basically what Wheatley's going to do is come towards the ball, control the ball with his feet, and then simply, this is that bounce pass we're talking about, lay the ball off to his teammate in midfield, and then make a run. That's really good striker play. He drops deep, he has a good first touch, he brings someone else into the game, and then rather than sitting there thinking his work is done, you know, I've done my part, he's instantly on the move again. We can see him quickly here trying to make a burst to get into the next position. That's a really good side of his game. In terms of physically, he showed in this game that perhaps he could be a stronger player. Sorry for the voice crack there. But the ball's going to go long here, and on this occasion, Wheatley is going to show more physicality. So in the last clip, it was more about technical ability, using his feet to control the ball. Here, he is literally wrestling a centre-back. Of course, it would be very, very different if he was to make the move, whenever it may be, to the first team. The physicality level really jumps up a level or two. But here, you know, at his age group, physically he actually performed really well on this occasion. He wrestles a defender, but then also has the technical ability to use his chest and kind of flick the ball on to his teammate. That's the important thing. He doesn't get focused on wrestling the defender. He's still focusing on, can I get the ball to my teammate? So he's used his body really well here. Got himself between the ball and the opposition, protected the ball, brought someone else in. Again, I think it's really good play. What is the next clip we've got here? Aha, again, going in behind the defence. Now, of course, in a very different way. This isn't like a long ball over the top or anything like that. This is a threat down the right-hand side, an attack coming down the side of the pitch. Wheatley coming from left to right in behind the opposition defence. The ball across initially looks like it's slightly under hit, but the Manchester City defender gets a touch on it. And this actually helps United on this occasion. It kind of flicks the ball on towards Wheatley. Now, what you might expect Wheatley to do here is just kind of sprint at the ball. But what he actually does is, yes, he initially races towards the ball, but then rather than just hitting it for the sake of it, he has composure. And he takes a moment, uses his left foot here to touch the ball around the goalkeeper, and then, essentially, leaves himself with an empty net. It's cold. It's really composed. Again, some strikers may have just hit that first time, not Wheatley. He takes his time, takes it around the keeper, and guarantees himself a goal. It's quality play. And then this last clip here, nothing too much to talk about. Again, it was just one of the clips I found from the game. Him dropping a little bit deeper. So not always wanting to be on the last man, showing that ability to come towards the ball as well. Offer some link-up play. Now, initially, his first touch is a little bit poor, but again, he kind of gets into a bit of combat, if you like, with the midfielder. Eventually wins the ball back, and then he just keeps it fairly simple. He just plays the ball to the right-hand side, to the right winger, and then after that, he is going to make the overlapping run. Sorry, I'm slightly ahead of the clips here. So he plays the ball wide, and then makes the overlapping run. Nothing really comes of it on this occasion. But again, it's just showing that ability that, yes, he wants to largely go in behind and attack the opposition in that way, but at the same time, he can come to feet, and he is technical. Do not make the mistake of seeing a big player and assuming he is slow and lethargic and a bit clunky on the ball. The opposite. Technically, strong. In terms of speed, he's pretty darn quick. How about weaknesses? Physicality, I'm not too sure at the moment. Now, that's not necessarily to say he hasn't got it. We just don't see it a load in youth football. Youth football doesn't tend to consist of a lot of long balls. I know we saw a couple in those clips there. But in general, you don't see a lot of long balls at this level. So it's difficult to really say what his physicality is like. Particularly stepping up to the senior team. Again, it's a whole different ballgame. It becomes physically so much tougher. Wheatley has the frame that he could develop into a sort of player which can do that. Currently, we don't really know. Ball carrying is something else where I'm not too sure at the moment. I would like to see him use that more for the rest of the season. Get the ball and get on the turn and kind of carry it towards the opposition defence. Obviously, that only works if he's got runners around him, but that is something he would probably have if he played for the first team. So in the youth team, I would like to see him trying to do that a little bit more. In general, though, I think he's a really good player, and depending on our injury situation for the rest of the season, I do think he deserves a chance to play again at some point, particularly with fairly little to play for, unfortunately. he does have the opportunity. Could he get 20 minutes perhaps next time, or even just 15 minutes? The chance to get on the pitch, have some touches, rather than 0 touches on the ball in possession. You know, get on the pitch, have some touches, and maybe showcase his talents a little bit more. Then perhaps we'll know more about him as a player. If not, he's going to be in the youth team for the rest of the season, and I will watch him there, and maybe bring you an updated video at some point in the future. In terms of today, for now, I like him as a player. I like the talent. Hopefully you guys now know a little bit more about him. I'm aware this isn't the most extensive video, but it's almost all I know at the moment. So hopefully you've learned something. If you have, leave a like. If you haven't, you know what, leave a like anyway. Why not? But apart from that, we are finished for today. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.